Learning to mix custom colors with watercolor can be quite stressful. So today I want to do an exercise where we're going to allow ourselves to mix through some different colors so you can get a feel for them, but it's going to be a very relaxing exercise so that it doesn't feel too stressful. And the exercise we're going to be doing today is based on the cover that I made for my Tucson one, where I just wanted there to be kind of these flowing hills and jagged edges, but mainly I was focused on the colors that I was hoping to see there. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. And you can do this exercise with any colors that you want, but I'm going to talk you through the colors that I did. So in my watercolor tin, I selected one of the wells and I put a couple sprays of water in there, and then I went between the water and then a burnt sienna color, and I just swirled my brush around in there, mildly adjusting the color a bit if I felt like I wanted it to be a little bit more red. Occasionally I dip my brush into a little bit of red and then mix it in until I got the color that I wanted. And the first time you mix up a color like this, you might be thinking, but how many times do I do this? Have a tester strip, test your color as you go. It's really hard for me to tell you the number of times to dip into certain colors because depending on how much you pick up each time or how much water you start with, it's all going to look different. Once you do have the color you like, what you're going to do is fill your brush fully with that color. And then we want to have a very loose grip on our brush for this. We're going to be just kind of plopping our brush down, changing the pressure a bit, changing the angle that we're holding the tip of the brush at, and moving kind of up and down in a little bit of a jagged line. We're allowing it to get thicker, thinner as it goes across the paper. And then using that base color, I'm gonna start dipping into a couple different yellows because I wanna change this just a little bit. So I'm gonna swipe a few times into yellows or whatever color I wanna work towards, mix it into my color, and then I'm going to make some of these stripes both above and below, adding a little bit more of that yellow because as I move away from this base color, I want this to kind of gradually change on both sides to more of this golden yellow color. And again, each of those lines, I'm going to be kind of changing the amount of pressure I'm putting in different places so that as I move through this pattern, the kind of focal points change and move and grow and shrink just a bit. Now, at a certain point, if you get impatient with how much it's changing and you want it to change a little bit more, put a little more water in a different well, and then I scooped up some of that initial color so I still had some of it. And then I was able to add more and more yellow to it, but since there was less of that base, we got bigger jumps, but it was still kind of in that same color family. And I'm gonna add more of those natural type stripes above and below. At this point, I also wanted to start working towards some green, so I added in more green type colors, and then just continue changing that color and making those big and small jumps throughout your entire page until you get to whatever color you wanted to achieve, or until you get to the edge of your page. If you've been struggling with color mixing, taking the time to do something like this is going to teach you a lot more about color than you might think it will.